everyone. How are you this lovely day? It's March 23rd. This already have hit the first of spring, and in Los Angeles, California, it looks like it's raining outside a little bit. I was hoping for a pretty weekend. Thought I might go down to the Getty Center or the Getty Villa. If you've never been to California, I highly recommend those two places. They're like museums. So yeah, they're really nice, and they're actually free except for the parking. And the parking, I think, is $10 to park, and it's a great day to spend time there. Yeah. So today I wanted to go back and visit the Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. This is the 2020 election Georgia case that's going on in Fulton County, Georgia. If you remember back at the previous podcast, not last week, but a couple of weeks ago, the defense, which would be Donald Trump's and other there's an additional 18 defendants on this particular case, and so one of the defendants had researched Nathan Wade and Fani Willis and found out that they had a romantic relationship. And not only that, that apparently this had been going on prior to the case starting, prior even to when Nathan Wade was appointed. I think it was November 2021. So that's an important thing. So anyway, let me go to the full cam. So what we can say on this is, let me pull this up just a hair, that the saga of whether Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis will be disqualified from prosecuting Donald Trump. He is the presumptive nominee for the Republican presidency candidate. He's won that right through all of the primaries that have been adjudicated to date. So anyway, yeah. So Fani Willis will be disqualified from prosecuting Donald Trump, 14 others for allegedly trying to steal the 2020 election in Georgia is far from over. And whether the case will go to trial before the next election this November is anybody's guess. So what has happened in the last couple of weeks is that the Scott McAfee, he is the judge, the presiding judge over this particular court case. He ruled when they had the mini trial or hearing about this relationship between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. Now remember, Fani Willis is the Fulton County District Attorney in Georgia, state of Georgia, and she hired a special prosecutor. His name is Nathan Wade, and the defendants in the case, one of them, the lawyers representing him, found out that there was a romantic relationship between the two, and she had hired Nathan Wade, which is unethical, typically, you would think. And she hired him to be the special prosecutor. Not only that, but during their romantic relationship, they took a lot of trips, and Nathan Wade paid for those trips. apparently with the money he received, funds that he received from the state of Georgia in regards to this case. So the judge ruled that he had to get off the case, or Fani Willis had to step down. So Nathan Wade resigned that following day, and this was a week and a half ago, Friday, I believe, and and she is remaining on the case. Now that's not the end of it. There are other investigations going on that could tangle this up a lot more. So anyway, also this is the Scott McAfee, the judge. The judge ruled Friday. This was a couple of weeks ago, I believe. That Fani Willis, could keep her control of the election fraud case against the former president, Donald Trump, if Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, with whom she had an affair, a romantic relationship, would step down. Wade did so hours later, allowing the sweeping racketeering case to go forward. On Monday, the following Monday, Trump and 7 other defendants filed an emergency appeal asking the presiding judge, Scott McAfee, to allow them to go right to the Georgia State Court of Appeals to overturn his ruling. And they were waiting on that. Okay. Let me see. An 8th defendant joined soon after, and on Wednesday, McAfee approved the emergency request, allowing Trump and the others to make the case that Willis and the entire election case had to go. In their request, asking Scott McAfee, to grant a certificate of immediate review to the appeals appellate court, the lawyer said his decision didn't go far enough. They not only wanted Willis, and her entire office thrown off the case, but they wanted the case dismissed altogether, as some of them had petitioned in their initial court motions back in January. In the comments of the ruling, he allowed Fani Willis to remain on the case only if Nathan Wade resigned, which he did. But he did make a comment that there would, even with her still being on the case, there would be an odor of mendacity remaining on the case. And that's kind of a death knell to have the judge kind of already have a lack of confidence in the district attorney because of the behavior. McAfee wrote saying Willis and Wade had severely damaged their credibility while on the witness stand. They did lie, potentially perjured themselves. As a result, reasonable questions remained over whether they had testified untruthfully about the timing of their relationship, which they said began after Wade joined the case. So what happens next? Legal experts disagree about whether Willis will be able to manage to bring the case to trial anytime soon, especially now that Trump's appeal will go to the higher court. So that's kind of where it stands. Let's see. So I'll go to a video to kind of update this morning. I credit MSNBC News for this. So, just a second. Bring it down. There we go. So, I hope you can hear this. Let me make sure everything is on. Okay. So, let's listen.
Yeah, and now, Garrett, turning to another case, the Fulton County case. Judge McAfee just granted Trump and his team their request to appeal his decision to keep Fani Willis on the case. What happens next here?
Well, a Georgia court can now pick up this case and review it. And as you just showed, Trump's attorneys are optimistic that this means that perhaps a higher court in Georgia will disagree with Judge McAfee about Fani Willis being able to stay on this case, and that they still might find her removed at some point, which would then require another DA's office in Georgia to pick up this case, and would, I think, functionally lead to this case going away, at least in terms of something that could conceivably happen before the election in November. Remember, Judge McAfee's decision, which ultimately led to prosecutor Nathan Wade stepping down, but Fani Willis staying on this case, was blistering in terms of describing Willis's conduct, more so in the kind of cover-up post-relationship phase of this process, as opposed to the actual actions on which the court got started down this path. All of that now fair game for an appellate court in Georgia to review.
So, David, how would you explain this? What's your reaction to it?
You know, honestly, Garrett covered it pretty well. I do not think it's likely to be reversed by an appeals court. And here's the reason why. They didn't have enough really to go through with this hearing in the first place. If this wasn't a former president, I don't think it would have happened. I do think it's interesting. I've only seen this happen one other time, and it only happens to female DAs when it does happen. But the real blow here is you got to put Fani Willis on the stand. You got to ask her some very embarrassing questions about her romantic life, and people are judging her really, really harshly for it. The practical impact is that Wade stepping down means that she now has to go find someone else who is willing to work on this case. And you heard information during the hearing that indicated nobody wanted to take this case because of the pressure that's associated with it. So I don't expect it to be reversed on appeal. However, a serious blow has already been dealt to the case. The only caveat is that if Fani Willis finds a way forward, which she will, take a shot at the devil, you better not miss.
Garrett Hake and David Henderson, thank you both so much.
Credit MSNBC News for that. So there you have it. The other thing, development, if you're kind of keeping up with this stuff, it's a sad commentary on our system of justice, and I don't know. So if you're looking at the New York case, it's where it stands now was that the judge there said that he will need to pay the former President Donald Trump, that would need to pay a $464 million bond to the court in order to appeal that case in New York City. Otherwise, the District Attorney General Letitia James says that she will start proceedings after Monday, probably Tuesday, if he doesn't post the bond, to seize his properties. And she's made comedic life of it and is salivating, trying to take some of the prized properties in New York, possibly with Mar-a-Lago and stuff. So stay tuned for that. this Monday, he has to come up with $464 million bond, or she'll start proceedings to seize the buildings or plane or properties outside the state of New York. So the other thing that's happened, if you're not aware, Donald Trump is the main investor in a social media company similar to Twitter called Truth Social. They are combining with Digital World Acquisition or World Digital Acquisition. SPAC is so they're merging, and that has the potential to net Donald Trump $3.5 billion for that action. So stay tuned. So the saga continues. As it stands right now in the election, both President Biden and former President Donald Trump have won their nominations for the 2024 election cycle. So they're just kind of going through the primary process, even though they have exceeded the amount of delegates required. All of the candidates on both sides have pretty well dropped out of the race, so those two are the nominees for this presidential cycle coming up in November. So the next thing would be, I guess, would be the conventions, political conventions. So that's kind of what but that's a little ways off. I think, July? So we got a long time. It's just March 23rd. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what political persuasion people are and what they're thinking, but we have a lot of political problems. We got a lot of problems going on in the country, and we need some leadership, both on the presidential side and on the congressional side, and to get this country right-sized. So that's all I have today. So I just kind of wanted to bring an update. I don't have anything further. Here in Los Angeles, it's raining. So yeah. So I guess I'll go ahead and call this one. I know it's a little short than normal, but I thought it important to kind of update you on that Fani Willis situation. I typically am not really wanting to do political things here because you can't really win, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. It seems always to be a fight, and so it's just not worth it to do that. But this is mainly a news item that's affecting the candidate, Donald Trump. So, but I thought it's important to bring that at least. Yeah. So wherever you are in this country or world, I hope that you have a great Saturday. And we'll see you next week on the Table Talk with Bob Colbert podcast. So y'all take care, my friends. See you later.